Hi, and continuing on, basically we'll show you with the unit. Now we'll remove the rotisserie. Now you do want to have a rotisserie machine, but the cup hooks are located just up in the ceiling of the machine, and you want it to hang the bars so that it's slightly off center. You don't want them exactly in the center, because then they'll be like in the same little stream of water. If the center point is like this, then the water's constantly showing, and then if it's a little bit off, then it's kind of like flowing up against the bars. Now you can see there is mild wear where the molecules are coming off the bars. Been using these bars for a few years. It does take quite a few years for the bars to deteriorate. Basically you just have the chains into the cup hook. The one high voltage wire comes to the one bar, and the other wire basically goes back and is connected to ground. This is the standard manual model, and to run it you would push the times in and cycle it in and cycle it time and time like I showed you on the other video there. But the other thing we have is the semi-automatic manual, and we'll just move this a minute. We left the covers off them just to make it easier to see. The semi-automatic has a different thing into it. In the back here we have a temperature sensor that monitors the temperature of the air in the back here. Now normally we would have just our pitcher of water inside that goes in, and you put the bars in and it runs like that. Well, as the electricity flows through the water gets warm. Now you don't want the water to get too warm, so the thermostat is set at about 85 degrees or so that when the water gets up about 110 degrees, it makes this warm enough that it shuts the power off so that it's no longer warming. But also with this one here, we've directed the flow of the air from the cooling fan directly into the unit and across the pitcher of water to help keep the water cool and to cool it down, so if the water temperature is too hot. We also block the flow of the air around the microwave, where normally the air, this here is a piece of weather stripping that's been put in. Normally the air flows around the outside because of the cooling fan. We've blocked it at the bottom and at the top, so now all the air has to go through the entire unit, and then it comes back through these other perf holes in the top and in the side. And this helps the condensation problems and helps the cooling factor, so that with these models, the semi-automatic, it makes it simpler. You would simply put the water in and basically, well, press the clear button, and then just 99 minutes and 99 seconds, and then the power level on 2 for the first run. You hit start, let it run for 99 minutes. Later on, after it's cooled off, you come back and you'd run it again 99 minutes at power level 1, and it would run again, and when it's done those 2 cycles, the water would usually be up into the 10-11 parts per million. And you only have to run 2 cycles on the semi-automatic, where the manual one, you may run the water through 5, 10, 15 times, depending on the size of the pitcher. Usually about 5 to 10 times. And also it makes a difference with the silver on the moon phase. We've noticed that different phases of the moon, it takes longer periods for the water to be made. So if you're making it near the full moon, it takes a longer period for the water. Now I also have an automatic machine. Now with the automatic one, it has 3 lights. I don't have one because as soon as I make them, they're out the door. They basically have 3 little LEDs, and again has the bars and everything. But with the automatic one, the temperature sensor goes right on the bar. And we don't have to measure the temperature of the water, because if we measure the temperature of the bar, the silver is one of the most thermally conductive materials known. So we just put a thermistor in here, run a little wire off to a little computer system that basically maintains ideal temperature of the water. It pulse width modulates the voltage, and with the automatic one, you just simply shut the door, it runs, and when it's done, it shuts off automatically. When it's shut off, you open the door. There's a little button on the inside. You push it to reset it. Take your water out, pour off the top part, and basically I'll just show you that because you want to do that. Here we have a batch that's done, and you have lost some from evaporation. So we'll just pour it into a bottle here. Sorry, you don't need to shoot by with the camera back and forth. We'll pour this into another bottle, and then we just simply refill it with distilled water. When this is about a quarter full, we refill it with distilled water and put it in and begin our batch over again. Now also I've noticed, if you notice on the bottles, on the glass, there's a bit of a buildup on the container. I was cleaning that all the time, but then I found later that the water seems to make a little faster and easier if I allow that silver to stay in there. And so basically we put the rotisserie back on. Now the one important thing about the rotisserie is it keeps the water flowing over the bars, so that as soon as one molecule comes off, the water is flushing it, and it keeps its singular silver molecules. When you're allowing your water to cool off or not putting it in the machine, we always keep it covered. Another rule of thumb, that if we happen to have a strange bug or something go into the water, we just throw it up, put it into another gallon, and we use that in the gardening, and don't use that for our regular production water. That's the basic run over on how to make a silver machine. We have the bars here. They're stainless steel, food grade. And although we're looking at the nuance, just basically having a solid silver bar all the way up, bend the silver, put your voltage, hook it up, your chains to maintain it, properly positioned. Anytime you cut or drill, we always go over it with epoxy so that you're not going to have any rust or corrosion problems. With removing the metal from the other unit to make the semi-automatic, we always paint over the metal that we've cut away so that there's no rust problems on it. And also with the automatic one, there's a couple little controls up in here where you can actually fine-tune the parts per million of silver that you desire from your unit. And basically I want people to know how to build these machines so that the whole world can go on out and build them themselves. I would appreciate it if you build one and you use my information and it's a blessing to you. Send me $50. Help me out so that I can get more information out. Help me to help others. This thing here, you say colloidal silver will kill swine flu. I never get flu viruses or colds. I use it for everything up in my nose and for deodorant and for my hair, and I just feel a whole life. My whole world's come alive. I feel better now at the age of 54 than I did when I was 24. And I want to get this information out that all the world can know about it. If every other household took this microwave and converted it into a silver machine, the whole world, the only one that would be messed up would be the drug companies. They would lose. Well, I'm sorry. To have a healthy world and a healthy planet, this is the best healthcare thing on the going. If you don't address this information and get this out to the world, people don't care about healthcare. I've got testimonials, I've got references, and so much feedback and information that it's pretty much understandable that this technology has been, and they want it suppressed. So my name is Bruce McBurney. If you want any information, I'm Bruce at HiMacResearch.com. HiMacResearch.com is my website. Explains on technology where cars can get 5 times the gas mileage, been suppressed by the oil companies. I've learned this. I wanted to share it out, and I've basically think we've covered most things. The other thing, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, one other thing I also do on the units, because these are fused units, they're made to work as a microwave. For a safety precaution, I usually put a little 12 amp circuit breaker in there. So if the water, if somebody puts it in for too long, or they forget it or do something, they make a mistake, it'll pop the safety break. Now the reason this makes much better water is it's the high voltage, and this is far superior to the other ones. So just going to sign off now, and thank you very much for watching this. I hope you share this information. Everybody's got to know the truth and how to make colloidal silver properly. Thank you very much.